come you're here? You gave us quite a shock.
I never told you, but I own this bar.
What? Really? That's amazing.
Just kidding.
Huh? It's not true?
Well, enough joking. Today, I'm going to show you how to enjoy Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori with the help of my old friend, the real owner here.
I'll do my best. I've known Dr. Sudo here for so long. I often invite him behind the counter like this.
Really?
This is the only shochu bar on your way to the train station. I guessed you'd pick it, so I rushed and got here first. I really had to run.
Well, anyway, thank you very much.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get started. What do you think of recent Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori brands?
There seem to be more good ones every year. It's great for us just now.
I often drink shochu, but I've never learned how to do it properly.
I know that the way you drink it affects the taste, but I'm not sure exactly how that works.
Whichever way you choose to drink it, it can always be delicious.
Yes, but I think I'd enjoy it far more if I understood the details.
That's true.
Teach us then.
Okay, I'll start with a few details about the different drinking styles. But first, let's see how your bodies cope with alcohol.
This is a simple test to see how much natural tolerance your body has for alcohol. Here, I'll stick this patch on your arm. It contains alcohol, so it'll feel cold.
True, it's a bit chilly.
Here's yours.
Okay.
Now we wait for the results.
How does the test work?
I'll explain. Most of the alcohol we consume is broken down in our liver by enzymes. One of these enzymes, called ALDH2, oxidizes aldehyde into acetic acid. Genetically, this enzyme is very active in some Japanese and fairly weak in others. That's why some of us have high and some low tolerance to alcohol. If the patch turns your skin red, it means your ALDH2 is weak and you have a low tolerance for alcohol. That's how the test works.
Time's up. Peel off your patches.
Okay,
No change on me.
my skin's gone red.
That means you have a high tolerance for alcohol and you have a low tolerance.
Oh.
Great, so I can drink as much as I like.
Not quite. You still have to be sensible.
I always knew I didn't have a head for drink. Now I see why.
It's important to know how much alcohol your body can tolerate. That way you can drink sensibly.
Right. No more waking up and not knowing where I am.
There are several ways you can drink Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori. They're straight, on the rocks, Mizuwari, and Oyuwari.
That much I knew.
Well, of course. But knowing which style to choose is the key. First, think about why you are drinking. In other words, do you want to appreciate the flavor or do you just want something easy to drink? If your emphasis is on flavor, you should drink straight or on the rocks. For easy drinking, the styles I recommend are Mizuwari and Oyuwari.
If it's something special, you want to focus on the taste, but if it's a party, you want something easy to drink.
Exactly. Now the second point I want to make is, choose a style to match the character of the drink. One drink might be best appreciated as Mizuwari, another would be better as Oyuwari. It's important to think about the character of the drink when choosing how to drink it.
Tell us how to do that.
Right. I'll need you to do some tasting. Since you have a high tolerance for alcohol, try sipping this straight, and you should be able to appreciate its character.
How much should I drink?
Just a sip, about 2 or 3 cc's.
It started off sweet, and then as I swallowed, the bitterness and astringency became stronger. I felt my whole tongue tingling.
The tingling sensation is due to the high alcohol content. When you swallowed, your throat muscles tensed, and this increased your tongue's sensitivity to bitter and astringent tastes.
So, what's the best way to drink?
First, try to relax and drinking in small sips. Then see how you feel about the bitterness and astringency and how they stimulate your tongue.
Whether the bitterness or astringency feel acceptable.
Right.
Now it tastes just right. I don't feel anything strange at all.
Well done. Now, try the same with this Honkaku-Shochu.
The bitterness and astringency are strong. It doesn't feel quite right. A bit too stimulating, perhaps.
Exactly. That's because the fragrance is a little immature and the acidity is high.
So, how do I decide which way to drink them?
Going back to the one you tried first, the bitterness or astringency were acceptable, so you could drink that any way you like. Straight, on the rocks, Mizuwari, or Oyuwari.
What about the one that didn't feel quite right?
Oyuwari is best for this. If you want to drink it Mizuwari or on the rocks, then you have to take a few things into account.
What do you mean?
Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori always have a certain amount of bitterness or astringency. This can be good and add complexity to the flavor, as long as it doesn't feel strange. But if it feels strange, then you won't enjoy the taste so much.
Huh. So Mizuwari reduces alcohol content and chills the drink, so the bitterness or astringency becomes stronger.
Right. If the bitterness or astringency feels somewhat strange when drinking straight, this feeling will be stronger with On the Rocks or Mizuwari, so you'll need to take steps to counter it.
Oh.
On the other hand, if there is no sense of strangeness when drinking straight, then there will probably be none or only a little with On the Rocks or Mizuwari, so they're okay too. We call this Nobika Kiku. Even if you dilute the drink, the bitterness or astringency still feels okay.
Oh, so we think a drink tastes good when we don't feel anything strange about the bitterness or astringency, and it tastes bad when the bitterness or astringency don't feel right.
Well, people are more complex in their likes and dislikes. But in general, yes, you could say that.
We all taste things differently, right?
Yes, not everyone will like the same Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori. The threshold where we start to feel bitterness or astringency or strange is different for each of us. And that's what determines whether we like a drink or not.
Does the fragrance affect this?
Oh, yes. The quality of the fragrance affects bitterness and astringency. So if the bitterness or astringency feels somewhat strange, this is partly due to the fragrance.
So a poor fragrance means the taste becomes bitter or astringent.
That's right.
If bitterness or astringency feels strange when I drink it straight, I should change to Oyuwari.
Yes, Oyuwari will soften any bitterness or astringency. If bitterness or astringency feels somewhat strange when you drink it straight, Oyuwari will fix this.
If it's hard to appreciate a drink's character when I drink it straight, what should I do?
All you can do is just try tasting it as Oyuwari or Mizuwari.
Okay.
Now, let's look in detail at how to drink each style: straight, on the rocks, Mizuwari, and Oyuwari. We'll start with straight.
Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori are bottled at the manufacturers. To appreciate their full original flavor and fragrance, we should drink them straight. These drinks are best served at 20 degrees Celsius to bring out the taste. Here you are. Watch how the expert does it. First, take a moment to enjoy the fragrance. Now, take small sips, rolling the drink thoroughly around your tongue to enjoy the taste. Then swallow a little at a time. A major appeal of straight drinks is enjoying the effect of the alcohol vapor as it leaves your nose and mouth.
It's really making my whole tongue tingle.
That will happen if you take a large mouthful. Try taking smaller sips. 2 to 3 cc's is enough.
This chart shows what happens when you keep 1 milliliter of 25% Honkaku-Shochu in your mouth to taste it. See how the alcohol concentration falls the longer it stays in your mouth. As your saliva gradually dilutes the alcohol, the tingling sensation subsides. Drinking slowly like this also avoids burning sensations in your throat when you finally swallow.
Some people think that by swallowing quickly, they'll avoid the tingling sensation. Actually, it's the opposite, and it can also cause you to choke.
Exhaled alcohol indicates intoxication levels. This chart shows exhaled values after 5 minutes for different alcohol concentrations. You'd think that drinking straight would make you drunk easier, but as you see, even with 43% alcohol, you'll stay sober if you drink slowly in very small amounts.
I see. With straight drinks, I must go slowly.
Yes. And if you're still worried about the tingling sensation, keep some water handy. A little water will fix it. Next, let's look at On the Rocks. First, fill the glass with large chunks of commercially sold ice. Now, pour in the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori.
Do you have any tips for us?
First, focus on the flavor. It's almost as strong as when drunk straight. Then, enjoy how the taste changes as the alcohol content slowly falls.
It'd be boring if it started off already dilute like Mizuwari.
True. In this case, the point is the way the ice melts immediately after you make the drink. How the ice melts depends on the temperature of the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori and the temperature of the glass.
If we place ice in a glass at room temperature, then add 25% Honkaku-Shochu, the alcohol will cool quickly. But the ice melts rapidly too, and by the time your drink is cold enough, the alcohol concentration will have fallen to about 18%. This isn't much different than Mizuwari. If you pre-chill your Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori to 4 degrees Celsius, it will be ready to drink when the alcohol concentration is still about 21%. And if you chill the glass first as well, your drink will be ready at about 23%. Of course, the warmth from your hand and the room in general will gradually melt the ice. Melting ice reduces alcohol concentration by 0.2 to 0.5% for every minute you wait.
So first chilling the glass and the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori keeps the alcohol concentration much higher than with Mizuwari.
Can we use any kind of ice?
No. Commercially sold ice is better than making your own from tap water in the refrigerator.
Why is that?
Because with commercially sold ice, the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori is less likely to release a bitter or astringent taste. If you're drinking on the rocks because the bitterness and astringency wasn't right when drunk straight, then you really should use large chunks of commercially sold ice.
Ice is important.
It certainly is. On the rocks is a drinking style for connoisseurs, so you have to pay attention to all the details. Right. Now, let's move on to Mizuwari. Start by filling the glass with large chunks of commercially sold ice. The last step is to stir the drink. There you are.
What's the best ratio of water to Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori?
If your purpose is to appreciate the flavor, dilute until alcohol content is between 16 and 18%. This will suppress the bitterness and astringency and preserve the right amount of sweetness. At 15% or less, bitterness and astringency become somewhat stronger. For 25-degree Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori, use 1 part water to 2 parts spirit. For 30 degrees, use 3 parts water to 5 parts spirit. Remember, the ice will be melting in Mizuwari too, so you must take that into account.
That depends on the temperature of the glass and the Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori, right?
And on the temperature and amount of water you add.
So much to remember.
If we mix 66 milliliters of Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori with 33 milliliters of water, both at 20 degrees Celsius, Mizuwari with 2 parts spirit to 1 part water, the alcohol concentration after the ice has partially melted to chill the drink will be 12 or 13%. At this concentration, bitterness and astringency become very noticeable. To avoid this, we can pre-chill the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori, resulting in Mizuwari with an alcohol concentration of 14 to 15%. And if we also pre-chill the glass, we can keep the alcohol at 15 to 16%.
What happens to the alcohol concentration after that?
In each case, the concentration falls by 0.2 to 0.5% with every minute that passes.
It seems I haven't been taking Mizuwari seriously enough. I need to study more to do this properly. Couldn't we just use chilled water and no ice to get the alcohol concentration we want?
Well, you could, but it would look dull. Water and ice are very important for enjoying the full taste. We saw how using chunks of commercially sold ice reduced bitterness and astringency on the rocks, and it works exactly the same for Mizuwari. If you're drinking on the rocks because the bitterness and astringency wasn't right when drunk straight, then it's important to suppress these flavors using suitable kinds of water and ice.
How do water or ice make the drink more or less likely to release a bitter or astringent taste?
The hardness or softness of the water and also the association between alcohol and water are considered to affect this. We don't know exactly how it works, but we know for certain that the bitterness and astringency of Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori change according to the water or ice we use.
So we also need water that's less likely to release bitter or astringent flavors. Where do we get this?
It's okay to use regular mineral water, but it's better to use water from the manufacturer of your Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori. You could say each has its own hometown.
Oh, hometown? I like that.
I've heard you get a more mellow flavor if you dilute the Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori a few days in advance. Do water hardness and the association between alcohol and water affect this?
You're talking about Mizuwari. Yes, it does.
It took a lot of trial and error to find out what kinds of water and ice go best with the Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori I serve here. By keeping my spirits, glasses, and mixing water refrigerated, I'm able to always give my customers exactly the drink they want.
I'm sure they're very grateful.
When making Mizuwari, should you mix it thoroughly?
If you're serving a rare Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori that's been stored for many years, then it's best not to stir too much or you'll lose some precious flavor. Let me show you how they do it in Okinawa. I'll make Mizuwari with kusu that's over 3 years old. First, I put in the ice. Then, I pour the kusu over it. Then I add water, slowly so it doesn't mix, just raises the kusu layer. And now, I stir the drink gently, just a little, keeping the swizzle stick vertical. That's it. So that's another way of doing it.
When we mix 1 part of 43% kusu with 3 parts water using this method, the alcohol concentration will be about 20% near the surface and about 10% at the bottom of the glass. When you start drinking, the concentration is high, so it's easier to enjoy the mellow flavor of this mature spirit. Near the end of your drink, melting ice has reduced the alcohol concentration to just 5 or 6%, so you avoid becoming intoxicated and are ready for a second glass.
Now, let's try Oyuwari. First, I pour 70 degrees Celsius water into the glass. Next, I add Honkaku-Shochu. Hot water and Honkaku-Shochu mix easily because of their different densities.
You're mixing 6 parts to 4, right?
Correct. What we call rokuyon. That reduces the alcohol concentration from 25 to 15 degrees, just right for drinking.
But you said that for Mizuwari, 16 to 18 degrees was best.
Right. But remember that Oyuwari reduces bitterness and astringency and enhances sweetness. So you can still fully enjoy the flavor at a lower alcohol concentration than Mizuwari.
The tongue's sensitivity to sweet and bitter tastes is affected by temperature. Most people appreciate sweet tastes better at about body temperature. And sensitivity to bitterness usually decreases as temperature goes up. Oyuwari is served at a little over 40 degrees, so compared to Mizuwari, we taste sweetness more and bitterness less.
Pouring hot water first can make it difficult to judge the amount of spirit to add. You can avoid mistakes by using a marked glass like this.
Oyuwari is best if bitterness or astringency feel strange when drunk straight, right?
True. Oyuwari brings out sweetness and suppresses bitterness or astringency. So even if bitterness or astringency feels somewhat strange when you drink it straight, the same drink will taste good as Oyuwari.
Why isn't Awamori usually drunk Oyuwari style?
Probably because Okinawa has a subtropical climate and people prefer refreshing drinks, but there's no reason not to try it as Oyuwari. Now, we've looked at the 4 styles of straight, on the rocks, Mizuwari, and Oyuwari. Do you still have any questions?
No, you've cleared up everything I had never properly understood.
And I have a good idea of the best way to enjoy drinking.
I hope you'll come back often to test your new skills.
Right! Recently, I've been seeing lots of cocktails made with Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori. What do you think about that?
These spirits don't have a very strong flavor of their own. That makes them ideal for cocktails.
Do you have any tips for enjoying cocktails?
Not really, except you should pay attention to how beautiful the drink looks, as well as its taste.
Right. Looking pretty is vital.
There are so many different kinds of drinking vessel.
Yes, you can't go wrong using the traditional kinds, of course. Just remember that you will appreciate the sweetness differently with different vessels. Sweetness is an important part of the taste of Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori. We taste sweetness at the tip of our tongue, so it's best to use a vessel that lets you drink with your head slightly bent. All these are designed to make it easy to drink with your head bent down.
I see. Some places serve Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori in wine glasses.
Yes, that's one fashionable way. And it might help to make Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori more internationally known.
The good thing about wine glasses is the large empty space. This helps us appreciate the fragrance.
Do you have any tips for drinking from wine glasses?
With a wine glass, you tend to tilt your head back, so the drink passes over the tip of the tongue where we taste sweetness, and reaches the back, which is more sensitive to bitterness and astringency. So that's a drawback when trying to appreciate taste. It also sends the alcohol straight to the throat, which can cause a burning sensation.
So, what should we do?
I suggest taking a little sip and holding it at the front of your mouth. Then, straighten your head and let the taste spread around the rest of your mouth.
So it's not like beer. You don't want to feel it flowing down your throat.
I've heard it's harder to get intoxicated by drinking Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori.
Well, it certainly feels that way, but nothing's really been proven.
Research has been done into how different drinks affect intoxication. This graph shows how exhaled alcohol varies over time for various drinks containing the same amount of alcohol. It doesn't show any particular advantage for Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori. However, since so many people think there is such an effect, there may be something not so obvious about the character of these drinks or the way we drink them.
So can I drink and stay sober?
First, of course, don't drink too much. If you understand how alcohol affects your body, you can pace yourself and drink at a suitable speed.
But I often drink with workmates and can't control the pace.
In that case, you must eat while you drink. You become intoxicated much more slowly when you have food in your stomach.
This chart shows how exhaled alcohol varies over time under 3 conditions: when the stomach is empty, half full, and full. Even when your stomach is only half full, you can see that exhaled alcohol stays lower than with an empty stomach. That means it's harder for you to become intoxicated.
Just eating a little makes such a difference.
When you're at a party or drinking just after formal toasts, your stomach is still empty and alcohol affects you rapidly. Drinking a little water beforehand will help a lot.
I've heard a water chaser is good too.
Yes, drinking water between alcoholic drinks greatly reduces the risk of intoxication. Your physical condition also plays a role. Even just a little gentle exercise before drinking will help. This chart compares the effect of drinking after light exercise to drinking with no exercise. You can see how exhaled alcohol levels start low and stay low if you've exercised first. That's probably because your liver is more efficiently metabolizing the alcohol. You don't even have to exercise. Just try to walk part of the way to wherever you are drinking, and it will help keep you sober.
Do Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori have any good health effects?
Yes, it's been proven that they help the blood flow more smoothly. This chart shows the relationship between alcohol consumption and mortality. The J-curve indicates that people who drink moderately live longer than people who don't drink at all. It seems Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori and the ways we drink them may have good effects we haven't discovered yet.
All I can say is drinking some tasty Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori with your friends is great when you feel tired or stressed. There's no question it revives both body and spirit.
So, what do you think? Have you learned something new about enjoying Honkaku-Shochu or Awamori?
Yes, I've become even more of a fan of these drinks.
I want to learn more and taste more Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori, of course.
And my bar is the perfect place for it.
Well, that brings our lecture on how to enjoy Honkaku-Shochu and Awamori to an end.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much.